So what's going on, guys? It's Anime One back here with another video and anime with another part of What If Naruto was neglected and had Isshiki's karma. So if you guys like the content in the channel, please subscribe to the channel, and while you're at it, also like this video. So let's begin the video. It was calm and cool spring day in the village hidden in the leaf. It had been long 3 years since the villagers, Sasuke Uchiha and Naruto Uzumaki had left the village and betrayed it. Looking up in the sky though, no one can see it, but there was a vast blue ball of chakra that was flying over Konoha. The chakra was flowing fast, making its way towards the street. It flew past the normal areas before the villages, making its way to the outskirts of Konoha, where the Uchiha clan resided. A small little ball of chakra had flown into the Uchiha district, passing many of the proud clan members before heading to the house that's the farthest. It slipped into the building, passing through one of the young male, heading to its younger sister's room. Beating him there, once it slipped into the room, the chakra it saw a young girl sleeping in the bed. It descended on the girl before sinking itself in her body and entered the chakra system. Sorry, Uchiha. Father has begged me to give all of my powers to you. So be it. But still, seeing your potential, I can't say this is bad. Not at all. Thought of a mysterious chakra figure. If you guys are wondering who this is, this is Inro Totsuki. I don't know if you're wondering who is his father. Please go watch the series. I don't want to go about that right now. The girl opened her eyes wide as she jumped up from her bed, a kunai in hand and ready to attack their intruder. The voice she heard was so strange. What the hell was that? She thought before she sighed, decreasing her awareness, thinking it was just a dream. Soon a knock on her door was heard. Hey, little sister, are you decent? Her older brother asked. The girl nodded her head. 1 second, she said as she got out of the bed, revealing to be nothing in her, undergarments, both black. Sayuri had gotten incredibly beautiful in her time growing up. Her features reminded everyone of the young Mikoto, though her hair was something more of her twin brothers, though. It was definitely longer, reaching her back. She had begun to put on some clothes. She had a long pink blouse with a black strap that was like a nice armor of her body that covered her, chest. It had developed, that's all I'm gonna say. She then put on some black shorts, followed by some leg straps with the shinobi strap sandals. She changed her head from blue to black, wore it around her forehead. Last but not least, she grabbed her katana she had gotten as a present for making a tuning, a few years back when Naruto had left. She opened her slide door, seeing her big brother, Itachi, standing there with a smile. Hello, good morning, big brother, she said. Good morning, Sayuri. Breakfast is ready. Sayuri smiled softly as she followed her brothers downstairs. Itachi, I was thinking maybe we can spar together today. I want to see where I stand in my power. Once Itachi and Sayuri made their way to the bottom of the stairs, Itachi turned and smiled softly. You mean you want to see how powerful you are, so... when the time comes, you can bring him back. Sorry, you need to give up on him. The strength difference, even right now, is too much. We simply cannot compete. The young Uchiha's blood boiled, though it was true. But she just didn't like to hear it. Shut the fuck up, Itachi. You don't know anything. Suddenly, the mattress of the Uchiha household popped her head out of the doorway. Language, sorry. The young teen blushed under her mother's words. Sorry, Mom. After her mother left, Itachi smiled as he heads in the same room. Your reaction was the proof that I do know some things. Don't you agree, Sayuri? Sari glared so hard at her brother that she felt her eyes burn. She headed in after him for cooling off, sitting beside her mother, who was having the breakfast down. In front of her was her father, Fugaku Uchiha, who was too busy reading newspaper. Sari frowned at him. It had been like this since he cussed at him out of the hospital. And it was Fugaku who barely said a word to her besides the usual greetings and acknowledgement of her presence in the room. Other than that, not a single word. She frowned to herself. It was like it didn't matter to her or of what her father thinks of her anymore. A relationship as father and daughter would have been strained. Even before that, if he wasn't gonna try then. This was gonna extend to a Oblivion branch to him either. So sorry. The girl turned her head to see her father staring at her. He folded his newspaper to interact with her. He was indifferent on the outside while on the inside sucked as living hell. What the fuck? What the hell is he talking to me now? In his own free will? Wait, this is a genjutsu, right? Well, where the hell is Shisui? He's mending that son of a bitch. Only he can pull this off. She looked around for a bit, trying to find an old corner of weird, the abnormally prodigy of the Uchiha clan was somehow in the room causing the genjutsu, but Itachi sighed, seeing his sister's paranoia controlling on her. What's her problem? I mean, sure, Dad was a prick. To go as far as to think that only one reason would alter a word in her because of a genjutsu. I mean, I along with Shisui are the master of illusions and mindfucks in the Uchiha clan, but we're not that controlling. Are we? Itachi thought, his eyes twitching in annoyance. Meanwhile, Sari finished looking around for genjutsu. She turned her head back to her father and her giggling mother. Yes, father. I've been hearing good things about your progress in the training. You truly are a prodigy, just like your big brother. I want to congratulate you. Mikoto and Itachi turned to see Sari's reaction, and they weren't disappointed to see her shocked look on her face. Thank you, Dad. Thus he did feel the anger rise within her, feeling the urge to shout at him, saying it took this long for him to acknowledge her abilities, this long to prove that she was worthy of the Uchiha clan crest on her back. But she was also happy, so happy. Yes, Shisui was telling me of the great things about your training with him during the years, though I want to see for myself. Itachi, do you mind a little spar with your younger sister? Itachi turned to him and nodded. I wouldn't mind, actually, Dad. I'm free from all my duties for today and have some free time. We can start after breakfast. Yes, excellent. Is that fine with you, Sari? Sari turned her head to look at her father, then at her brother. She acquired this power so that she could stand and bring him back, and her brother back as well. But whatever. Yes, Sari said. Meanwhile, two figures were entering Konoha village. Well, they were not disappointing in voice in the matter of looks. At least the girl was not. The boy, well, he was also pretty handsome, but not as beautiful as his sister. Mito and Menma walked in the village along with Jiraiya. But what they didn't notice was, well, brown chakra entering Menma's body. The brown chakra, as soon as it entered, it was found it manifested into a man with white robes and spiky brown hair. His black eyes looked at the cage in front of him. Hey, Kurama, said Asuro Tsutsuki to the tail beast. Kurama opened both of his eyes as he stood up. Asura, what are you doing here? Kurama snarled. As Asura sighed. Well, what can I say? You almost pretty much know the reason, right? Said Asura, looking at Kurama rather seriously. It was rare to see the latter that serious. Kurama nodded. It's Isshiki, Otsutsuki, isn't it? Father must have sent you since your reincarnation shit does work. You are gonna give your powers to this boy. Do you honestly believe that he's worthy of it? Said Kuruma. Hashira shook his head. I don't believe so. He has hatred and jealousy in his heart, but not to the extent that Brick Brother had, so whatever. Sooner or later he'll need it, but my power won't be enough. Said Asura. Kurama looked at him. You want me to cooperate with this brat? Asura gave him a nod. Only for the time being, Kurama. Only for the time being. After we take care of Isshiki, it should be pretty normal. Said Asura. As Kurama sighed. Well, if that's what you want, and that's what father wants, I'm willing to cooperate with this brat. Said Kurama. Ashura gave him a smile. Thank you, Kurama. This is only a plan A. We do have plan B, but for that, father will have to sacrifice his soul to the Shinigami. Said Ashura as well. Kurama just looked at him. What do you mean? He asked. Father will come back to life himself. But before that, he'll bring two other people back and give them half of his power. At least half of what the yin and yang you'll have. And then see what things turn out from there. And then if that doesn't work, said Asura. Don't tell me he's planning. Asura gave him a nod. That's why I said, once he's dead, if this plan and that other plan doesn't work, plan B is where Dad will have to sacrifice his soul to the Shinigami after the task is done. Said Asura. Kurama frowned. I didn't want this, he said. Neither did I, Kurama, but circumstances call for desperate measures. That's all we can do, said Asura as his chakra started to vanish. I hope we'll train this brat good enough so that he'll be able to face the Otsutsuki, said Asura as his silhouette completely disappeared as it turned into chakra and entered Minma's body. Kuruma sighed. Otsutsuki. I haven't heard that name for a long time. 3 years was the last time I heard it. Naruto Otsutsuki, said Kurama. Meanwhile, in the snow country. Well, it was not the snow country anymore since the country had, expanded. And expanded, I mean, it had really expanded. It had conquered the small villages that was surrounding it, and it had become one of the great nations in terms of land and also in terms of resources. No one knew about their military strength since the snow country was the borders were closed off. The borders were only available for their allies and only allies. And the security was so strict that even the spy masters couldn't enter the village. Even Jiraiya didn't have any spy masters in the snow country anymore. All of them were killed. That angered the man, but what the hell could he do? He tried to enter the snow country, but it didn't work out. In the snow country, in the middle of the snow country, there was a rather huge building. Building for, there is a symbol on it. The symbol of a moon, and down there was, a half moon, and on top of that was a sun. Sitting, if you zoom into the castle, there could be seen a boy that was, tall. He had blonde hair as he was sitting on a throne, doing, absolutely nothing. Both of his eyes were closed. He was wearing a black cloak that surrounded him, a white t-shirt underneath, and black trousers, or shinobi sandals is what people like to call it. He also had a sword strapped to his waist, which was, well, made him look absolutely badass. The boy just said something. Come in, he said. And as soon as he said that, uh, a masked man entered the room. Out of the lower half of his face was covered, as he had the snow headband. The snow headband was rather simple. The symbol of ice in it, as that's all it was. The ninja was wearing a blue color snow headband as he bowed down. Sir, all of our preparations are ready, said the man. You mean the daimyo? Said no, said the figure as he stood up. Yes, indeed. She wants to meet with you, said the figure again. The figure the one who seemed to be the leader nodded. Very well then. Go tell her, Zabuza. I'll be there in a flash, said Naruto, as Zabuza gave him a nod. As you wish, sir. As he left the room and the door closed, Naruto sat back on his throne again, as he rubbed his temples. He had gotten incredibly strong. At least Isshiki even admitted he was stronger than Isshiki was. Naruto didn't care about that fact, but Isshiki still said those words. And Naruto remembered it. You are stronger than me, Naruto, but you aren't stronger than Ragnarok, Otsutsuki, and the kings of the Otsutsuki. Those two still are way above you. Naruto smirked. Even Isshiki didn't know everything that he holded, and that was because he had unlocked something that could even block out, well, Ishiki's control over his body. Isshiki had no control over his body now. And whether he was out of chakra or not. The reason? Because he had simply gotten stronger than Isshiki. By using the karma or not, that really didn't matter. Only the reason was, well, he was stronger. And he could suppress Ishiki's presence. That was all that he needed. But he still looked up at the sky. The day he felt Ragnarok Otsutsuki's presence, Naruto just wondered. Well, Ragnarok come forth looking for his little brother. He doubted, because Otsutsuki, well, they were emotionless, is what Naruto liked to call them, but, well, Isshiki just said that Otsutsuki view power more than anything, and if his brother was in trouble, he would have gone there immediately, since his brother was stronger than him, but for Ishiki's case, that was not how it went. In a distant planet, a figure who was, well, eating a chakra fruit, as a girl was standing beside him. She was incredibly beautiful, as she had pale white skin and Byakugan eyes, and her white hair flowing to her back. As the figure, well, he was strange. He had white hair like any other Otsutsuki, but his bangs were, well, some of them were black in color. His eyes were closed, as he was rather good looking. He was wearing the same outfit, almost the same as Isshiki wore, but instead of, well, there being a red design on his cloak, it was actually silver, a rather galaxy type of design, as the figure stood up as he dusted off his hands by eating the chakra fruit. Have you found out Ishiki's location? The figure said. The girl beside him just shook her head. No, sir. He went to the planet named Earth to collect the chakra fruit that he sent Kaguya to manifest, but he still hasn't come back. It's been, well, how many years has it been? Said Ragnarok. As the girl, she just started counting. Well, I would say more than 500 years, I guess, she said. Ragnarok nodded. Time space flows different from here and in that world. In that world, it's probably over 1,000 years, said Ragnarok. The girl nodded. As the man opened his eyes, one of them, at least for Byakugan, but the other one was, well, the eye that no one had ever seen. At least you guys had never seen this eye. The eye was, well, the shape of a half moon and a star in the middle. Well, if that's how it goes, we'll visit Earth the time being, Samantha. But for now, the figure looked at her. The Ragnarok looked at her with a smirk. Why don't we have, well, a little fun? He said. Samantha blushed. Well, my lord, but we already did it. Well, this morning, she said. Well, Ragnarok just laughed. You think one time is enough for someone like me? Since I had the chocolate food, I'm much stronger now. My stamina is, well, recovered. Why don't we go for a round or two? He said as he climbed on top of her. She sighed. As you wish, sir, she said. Meanwhile, in another planet, a figure was sitting on his throne. His head rested on his palm as, well, both of his eyes were closed. He had horns protruding from, well, his heads as he was also a pale-skinned man. He was wearing a white yuri, a completely white yuri, that made him look like a divine being. Only from looking at the being you could see the power radiating. The figure opened his eyes to the reveal. One of them, were the same eyes that Ragnarok had, and the other one, well, was the Jogan. The eye that was well known to be in the Otsutsuki clan as the strongest dojutsu to be ever seen. This man was the only one in every existence that had ever unlocked the eye. The only man who was, well, close to reaching the status of the Otsutsuki god. And right now, he was the king of the Otsutsukis. Otsutsuki's valued power. The one who was the strongest would be the king. That's how it worked, and that's how it always been. The figure got up as he started walking. He tapped his hand on the table that was in front of him as, hologram appeared. How has been things going? To see in the hologram were Momoshiki and Kinshiki. Well, things have been going rather good, sir. We have eaten some chocolate fruits out of all the 50 planets that I've consumed. I've sent back around 35 and eaten 15 myself, as we agreed, said Momoshiki as the king gave him a nod. Good, Momoshiki. And what have you found out about Kaguya? Said the king. Momoshiki shook his head. I haven't been able to find anything, sir. All I know that he is gone to a planet named Earth. That's all I know for right now. But I'm gonna be visiting that planet very soon, in a few days of time. And just give me time, sir. I'll get the information as quick as possible. The king, who really didn't seem to mind that, just nodded. Very well then. But remember, that wretched woman was to pay for betraying our clan, said the king, as Momoshiki nodded. And then about Isshiki, sir? Momoshiki asked. The king shook his head. I doubt Isshiki would ever disappoint our clan, or ever betray us. He is not that kind of man. He would rather die than betray the Otsutsuki religion. That's just how type of man he is. But there is a possibility that he was killed. Kaguya knew of his abilities and what he could do because, well, they have been traveling partners for more than a millennia. So It's actually, well, logical to think that C would backstab him, said the king. Momoshiki nodded. I'll make sure to find that woman and bring her head to you, sir, he said, as his hologram disappeared. The king just walked back to his throne, but he didn't sit down. At the back of his throne was, well, a huge glass. A glass that could make him see the entire, well, things that would happen. He smirked. With my power, I doubt that any of these fools can even bring a threat to me, he said. Then he looked at this figure. Isshiki, you fool, said the king. I know you wouldn't betray our clan, but this is not exactly being loyal to us also. The karma seal, and it looks like you're forced to, well, said the king. Just revive the brat. Completed his sentence. He sighed. Not that it matters. I'll sit on my throne and sleep, he thought, as he sat on the throne and, well, started sleeping. Meanwhile, in the afterlife, Hagoromo was, well, worried because Naruto Uzumaki had even gotten stronger than what Isshiki had. He had seen the boy's progress, and one thing scared him. The boy had awakened a power that was, well, rare. Very rare. He didn't know about it, and he was supposed to be an omnipotent being, but that knew everything. When he asked the Shinigami about it, the Shinigami refused to tell him about that damn power that the boy had awakened. He thought about it. There were a few options, and he had always taken Plan A into action. Send, well, Ashura and Indra to become the reincarnates of Sayuri, and Menma Namikaze, so they could fight Naruto and hopefully defeat him. But if that was not enough, he would go to Plan B and revive two of the people from the past and give them the same power that Sayuri and, well, Menma had gotten. And if that didn't work out, well, he would fight the brat himself, but he would make sure that Isshiki Otsutsuki was permanently dead. That man was nothing but trouble. And it scared Hagoromo that if Isshiki somehow, with some trick, managed to get control over Naruto's body, it would be over for the planet. No one could stop him. Not even greatest of the greats could stop Isshiki Otsutsuki when he was, well, at his full strength. So he had made a deal with the Shinigami. The deal was, well, if things didn't turn out to be as good as they were, he and his brother Hamura Otsutsuki would be revived to fight the brat, and they would take care of him. Hagoromo was sure if he alone couldn't beat Naruto Uzumaki, at least with the help of his brother, he knew that he would be able to beat him. That was just how confident Hagoromo was, but in the near future, he would know that overconfidence was never good. And especially underestimating Naruto Uzumaki was even bigger fault than that. In the Snow Country, Naruto was walking with Koiki as they were talking about business. So, that's what they said Naruto as Koiki nodded. Yes, they have agreed to, well, do trades with us, but they said that they require some of our troops, and they want to meet you, said Koiki. Naruto gave her a side look. Some of our troops, that may be acceptable, but meeting with me is not something, well, that's just we can do on a whim, said Naruto as Koiki gave him a cheapest grin. I know you won't deny me, Naruto. You know as better as I do that without this contract, we are doomed for our financial constraints. And the technology that we have advanced in this village, they won't last for long, said Koiki with a smirk. Naruto sighed. Well, if that's what you want. Sure, said Naruto as he was hesitant. Koiki jumped up. Right. Okay, so meet me at the place where the daimyo is gonna come in about, well, 1 day, 5 hours. Be there. Peace, she said as she started running away. Naruto just sighed. Ah, what the fuck? Well, I guess I'll have to enter the boring meetings, said Naruto as he started walking away. At least this was something, he thought.